As the Gabby Petito homicide case garners national attention, another young person has been missing for nearly 3 months, and his family is desperate to find him. 24-year-old Daniel Robinson, a geologist, was last seen on the morning of June 23rd, leaving his work site in the desert of Buckeye, Arizona. Nearly a month later, Daniel's Jeep was found in a ravine approximately 4 miles from where he was last seen, and police say that the vehicle appeared to have rolled and landed on its side. Daniel's clothes, his cell phone, wallet, his keys, they were all found at the scene. And police say that foul play is not suspected, but Daniel's family says otherwise. Joining us now is his family. We have Daniel's father, David Robinson, and Daniel's brother, Roger Colley Robinson. I want to thank you both for coming on this morning to talk about Daniel. And I do just want to start first, David, and then Roger, if you can tell me a little bit about your baby brother. But David, tell me about your son.
Thank you for bringing us on, Brianna. Daniel, he's a very outspoken guy from his childhood. Daniel, he's always challenged everything. He challenged his siblings. He want to outdo them academically. Everybody know that Daniel been born without a right hand. He never let that stop him. He done everything from learning how to play a French horn. He learned how to play the trombone. When he got into college, he sought out to be a geologist, and he pursued his dreams, and he accomplished those goals. Graduated with honors. He also is a friendly guy. He always have friends. The College of Charleston down there, I've seen so many of his friends that love him. Daniel's a guy that loves to travel. He spent times with his friend on traveling. He's loved nature. He liked to do hiking. Once he got out here to Phoenix, he liked to hike. He liked to travel, like I say, see nature. And he loved his career as a geologist. He liked to collect his rocks. He has a rock collection. But most of all about Daniel, he's a person that like to bring people together. And even in this moment when he's not here with us, he's bringing everyone together right now. So that's the type of person that Daniel is.
I will tell you, I have been reading about your son, and I have been so impressed by him and what a special person he clearly is. Your baby brother, Roger.
Yes.
And I just wonder, right now authorities are saying that there is no foul play suspected. That's not what your family thinks. Tell us about this.
Well, there's too many things that's going on with this case. From the beginning, as from a family standpoint, Daniel, he would never do anything, outside of telling his family. The first indication that I thought that was very strange with Daniel is, after 6 hours not hearing from him at all, he either would call his siblings, his mom, or myself. He let somebody know where he's gone. But once Daniel became missing, and we realized that, I think the quick action wasn't there quick enough, first of all. But then when, that caused me to have to do my own searching and things like that. But once his vehicle was found and the way it was found, it just didn't look right. It didn't sit right with me. That's why I ended up getting my own private investigator. And from that point, everything that was found from that point indicates that, we need to look a little farther than just saying he's just missing.
Roger, the Buckeye police say that the case remains open and active. They say currently we are consulting outside experts for enhanced analysis of the data from Daniel's vehicle. We are also asking anyone with information to please contact investigators. What do you think, Roger, about what police are doing and where this investigation into your brother's disappearance, where it stands?
From what I'm getting from this, I feel that they're trying to do what's right at this point, but I feel that it's a little too late. Like my father said, had they been quick about it in the beginning, we wouldn't be here 3 months later, still searching for my brother and still looking for answers. I think my sister that lives in Arizona and my father did a lot in the beginning, trying to push and get things moving, pleading with the police, begging for them, hey, can you help us get a search? Can we do an air search? Can we get something? And I just think the lack of action initially is what's leading us here. And now they're having to backtrack and try to bring in outside sources to help search for my brother.
You know, Roger, I wonder what you think about, there is now attention. Look, there is some national attention on your brother. That so infrequently happens in the case of a young missing black man or a young missing white woman. You know, what do you think about that and what needs to happen?
I think that it's sad that we still have to, think in that way. I would say my parents never raised me and my siblings to believe that, the world's out to get us. However, there are some very obvious things that happen, historically, and there's things that still happen today that's not very great in this country. And it just saddens me that it takes this much, to get, people's story out, like my brother or like anyone else. It shouldn't have, we shouldn't have to depend on other stories or other cases to push our own story. And we just want answers just like anyone else. I think, or my brother or everyone else's brother or father, siblings, whoever they may be, they deserve the same attention.
Look, and Daniel is a very special person. We hope that some more eyeballs on this case might get some more answers for you as you continue your search for him. Roger and David, thank you so much for being with us this morning.